Oh, okay. So on number 1, so you notice how, so compared to the others, so like number 3, for example, because you said you knew how to do number 3. So
Yeah.
number 3, you notice, what's the difference between number 1 and number 3?
There's a extra number.
Yeah, well, there's like 3 terms in the number 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so all you're missing, so in those quadratic trinomials that you've been solving, the only thing you need is you've got the exponent of 2 and you have the regular number. What you're missing is the regular variable that should be in between them. Because notice how in number 3, you've got like the exponent of 2, you have the regular variable without an exponent, and then you have the constant number.
Yes.
Okay, so all you need to do is rewrite it in a way that you have, and I'm going to teach you a shortcut next week for a couple of these that'll make it easier, but for right now, you guys don't know how to do the shortcut.
Yeah, the quiz was so easy, and then I got to the assignment.
All right, so all you're missing, you just need to rewrite it so that it's b squared plus, there's no b in there, right? So you rewrite it as 0b minus 1. Are you okay? So then you know what to do from there. So like now you just got a regular one. So when you're figuring out your zeros, you open up your little your binomials, and then obviously the b squared becomes a b and a b, and then you've got to make that table that says what do you multiply to get c, so that's -1 that you add to get b, exactly. So it would be 0. So that would be obviously anything. So what could you multiply to get -1 that would add to get 0?
0? I mean, wait. -1?
Yeah.
And 1?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's right. -1 and 1, because they multiply to get -1, but then they add to get 0. So no, you were right. So it'll just be b minus 1 and b plus 1. So when you go in and you find your zeros, when you do your opposites, so this, what would this value for b have to be so that?
It would have to be plus 1.
Yeah, so it would be a +1, and then this one would have to be a
-1.
Exactly. So your 2 solutions, the way you type it into the little Google thing, are brackets I can't draw, -1, and 1. I like how you actually called it that on your quiz. That was really funny. And I was like, I guess I really do say that like all the time.
You do. You're like, and the brackets I can't draw.
I feel like next year when you guys get, or 2 years from now when you get to Algebra 2, you're going to be like, oh, those are the brackets that Dr. PB can't draw.
Yeah, I don't even know what they're actually called.
They're just called brackets.
Because, like, I tried to draw them, but I don't know if they're right. Because, like, I don't really remember what they look like. Because I just always see a little squiggly line.
Yeah. Well, here. So, literally, the very first time, here, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
The very first time I showed them to you guys, I literally said, I mean, which it's been a hot minute. So, I literally Google math brackets. And it shows a picture. And then of like the different types right here. So yeah, so they're all called brackets. It's just that they all serve a different purpose. Although, you know, obviously the ones in the middle, we technically call those parentheses most of the time. So yeah, they're the ones I can't draw are the ones that are there on the outside. Right there, that kind of look like a guy's nose.
Why are they so, like, complex?
That is probably an answer I should know as a math teacher. I don't know why I don't know that, but I don't. Yeah, so I don't know. That's a good question. Oh, that's right. The curly braces is what they typically call it. That's right. The brackets are the ones that are more like square, and then braces are the curly ones.
Okay.
So it should look like that.
Okay.
There, you've really been educated today. All right, so hey, you look at this. So this example we did for number 1, use it to do number 2 now.
Okay. All right, hold on. Give me a second. So is it like, since there's no like second term? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since there's no like second term, is it always plus 0, or can it be a?
Well, it doesn't matter because whether you're adding or subtracting 0, it really doesn't make any difference. Does that make sense?
Oh, you're right.
So how would I rewrite the left side of the equation here?
X to the second plus 0b minus 64 equals 0.
Yes. And then how are you going to solve it?
Well, you want to do your little brackets first.
Parentheses actually is what these are. I'll start calling them the right thing. So these are parentheses, like my little binomial parentheses. Yep.
And then you want to put the 0 on the right side.
So what, you multiply to get 0. Are you sure? Oh, yeah. What you add to get 0. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and then multiply to get negative 64.
Yep.
Negative 64 and 1? No. It's... I guess it could... Well, no, because if you multiplied that... I don't know. It's either negative 64 times 1 or negative 64 times negative 1.
Well, yeah, either one, though, isn't going to add up to 0, so it's kind of a moot point. So you should move on to another set of factors.
It's negative 8 times 8.
There you go. Negative 8 and positive 8. Yep, because that adds up to 0. So how do you fill in the binomials? What do you do with that?
Well, you have to separate your terms. So you have to do x in the parentheses. You have to do x first in both of them. And then you do minus 8 in the first one and then plus 8 in the second one.
And then how do you find your zeros?
You have to, for the first parentheses, you have to add 8. And for the second one, you have to subtract 8.
Yep. So your two solutions in the braces, which I'll start calling them, is negative 8 and positive 8. Yep. What was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was that you said you needed.
Oh, now I can do it.
Okay.
It was number 6, but now I just need help with the other page.
Okay.
Because it has, well, I mean, my dad already worked first. Yes.
Okay.
Sort of.
So what do you think you might do?
All right, so, oh, my dad's coming. All right, so since, like, it's supposed to be, like, the zeros, I'm pretty sure you have to move, since there's only 2 terms and it equals 0, you have to, instead of, like, it being a positive 32, you have to move it and make it a negative 32.
That is exactly what you need to do. So you need it to be equal to 0. So you do minus 32 on both sides. The only part that people like mess up is make sure you put the terms in order too. Did you put them in the right order over there on the left side? Which one did you write first?
I put n squared minus 4n minus 32.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Because you got to make sure you put the exponent of 2 in the front, and then the regular variable, and then the number third. So you still get your A, your B, and your C in the right order. So yeah, good job, Dad. Good job.
He doesn't want to.
Then we're going out there.
Oh my goodness.